Wait, hold on, just to clear something up, we do actually celebrate 2 New Years, the correct one and the incorrect one. Why, you may ask? Well, double presents, obviously. China is a big landmass containing the highest population on Earth, although India is predicted to overtake them from 2024 to 2028 due to the WAHN policy that makes their population graph flatter than the Earth. But how did this all start? So to skip the 7 consecutive days debate of creation, we will start our journey at some traditional beliefs. The 2 dragons, NOOMBAH and Fuxi, who went full dragons and were called Barney and Bartholomew, created humans out of clay in respect to their power as friends. These humans settled in the Yellow River Valley and were ruled by the 5 good emperors. Unfortunately, they were illogical, so one of the emperors brought upon a flood. But thankfully, the engineer called was there to build canal and be crowned the River King for his hard work, and he founded the CHYNAH dynasty. But what do all these words mean before I get too fast? Catch that? Good. The first dynasty to be supported by evidence is the Shang dynasty, who supposedly overthrew the Xia with the leader Tang at the Battle of Mingtao. However, many human sacrifices later, when does killing your own people ever failed, and they were overthrown by Zhao dynasty, who were named after the basketball player and not a bad comedian. How is this comedy? For this reason alone, they were the longest lasting dynasty in the history of China, lasting for around 790 years. However, they made the stereotypical Chinese mistake of putting warlords in local power. Oh, there goes the first pop of China. Don't worry, there are many more to come. So now that China is on fire, it's a perfect time to start on a national landmark. The warlords started to build walls around their border to keep them safe from any invaders, and this placed foundations for the Great Wall of China, which turned out to be useless in the end. Don't draw any comparisons. And it's also the perfect time for some philosophy. Confucius has one of the 3 good Chinese ideas, perfect for the Qin to conquer and build the dynasty upon. However, the first mistake was that the dynasty let one too many philosophers in. Then, the dynasty decided to start patching up the wall to the north to deter a Mongol invasion. And while this was a good step forward, the second mistake was using mass slave labor, and the slaves were not happy to do the work. The dynasty capitulated, and the second pop of China concluded the 15-year Qin dynasty reign. You'll never guess who won this civil war. That's right, it was a thick Han dynasty. And, whoa, wait, what? Where did Turkey come from? Alright, just invade the Mongols' descendants. That won't come back to haunt you. And, oh, look, it's some merchants to the west, and they have lots of money. Maybe we should build a road to them, a Silk Road. Hold on, what should we trade to these rich people? Let's just invent paper to write everything important onto. Hey, now that the country isn't on fire, let's start a golden age and create some iconic Chinese culture. So the Chinese put chopsticks in their hair, invented the furnace and cast iron tools, and adopted hot religion that is infecting all of East Asia. But don't be fooled, this man is an evil dictator who seized power and tried to create his own dynasty, but failed due to his communistic reforms.
I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids.
The Han dynasty ended up losing its western territory due to this, but you know what? It's fine, cause we can just take over the Mongols again. Nothing could ever go wrong. Unfortunately, China popped again at the Yellow Turban Rebellion. However, they quickly figured out that red was the best turban color, and so reunited under the Jin once more. But 5 smart barbarians pointed out that red means dead, and so China popped yet again. The North and South were both extremely powerful forces and would be disgraced by naming them. Also, Wikipedia didn't tell me what they were actually called. Thanks, Wikipedia. Anyways, while these superpowers fight, the Gok Turks conquered the entire Eurasian steppe. As these forces see a new threat, they must combine as a new power of the Sui dynasty. Unfortunately, modern China is communist and the capitalist brand isn't their thing, so they went for an equally free brand with the Tang dynasty instead. The Tang dynasty conquered the Gok Turks, the Koreans, and everyone under the age of 12. Round 2, boys, but this time, let's leave a mark on the world.
Oh yeah, yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah.
However, unless a bird is ruling your communist country, it tends to fall apart after 70 years, and so China pops again. 2 more great powers arise out of the mess, one unified on the basis of a great song, and the other a pre-ruling dynasty who have returned with an extra N. What's this letter N sound like?
Na 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 na. Yes!
As the 2 powers fight, the heavy foreshadowing finally happens. The 2 rivals were both eaten up by the greatest land empire ever created, who couldn't be stopped. They never got Japan. As the Mongols strolled past the Great Wall of China, they declared the WAHN dynasty with Kublai Khan as their leader. However, killing 60 million Chinese in the invasion, another 25 million due to natural disasters and plague with an extremely high inflation rate, and you got yourself the Triangle of Tide Pods. And so, the empire ate poison, making way for the Ming dynasty. Now, to keep that video to 10 minutes, I'm going to put the next 2 dynasties together because I care. The Ming and the Qing were both isolationists, much like Japan, who they drove out of Korea. What happens to local people minding their own business? Oh, what's this feeling in my stomach? It feels like nationalism! After China saw what Europe has already done, they set trade to just 1 port in Canton. However, Britain is always open to getting more money, and the Chinese mass-produce tea. After losing their colonies in America, Britain had nothing to sell to these people, except illegal drugs. But there's no way the cultured, mature Chinese would buy the... Never mind. The Chinese government wanted to stop the drug lords from coming into their country. After a few protectionist policies, war was drawn, but the British Empire was just too much to handle. Not in the Olympics though, China #1. 21 million Chinese fell to the British, and many ports of Europeans were opened. The Qing were humiliated, and China just couldn't stick together. Now I hand it over to our Asian representative covering World War I.
It's 1912 and it's time for WW1, but not in China, a republic formed between democratic and communist states to piece together China once more. But this republic didn't last long, and Republicans started executing members of Communist Party of China, or the CPC for short. #relatable. The CPC somehow escaped through warlord led through China, and Mao Zedong, who set up the status further.
It's Japan, and Emperor Hirohito wants to set up the Great East Coast Prosperity Sphere, aka Anime Land. After fighting with the Allies in World War I, they received a German naval base in China. After an alliance with the same country, they invade the warlords above Korea and prepare to blow up their own terrain, blame it on the Chinese, and declare war. The Republic and the CPC do some top 10 anime moments and make a united front to stop the Japanese advance. This was the second highest casualty war front of World War II, and many serious atrocities were committed by the Japanese. They believed that they were racially superior to the Chinese and killed many civilians with mass shootings and bombings. On the 13th December 1938, the Chinese capital fell. The Japanese were so brutal to the Chinese that the Nazi ambassador was the voice of reason during the rape of Nanking, where up to 1,000 Chinese were raped in one night, with any intervention being shot down. Japanese officers would compete to behead the most Chinese in a minute, with results in the local news like seeing a new Love Island star. We skip to 1945, when the war was heavily shifted, as the Japanese now fight a four-front war. 2 atom bombs later, and the Japanese were off of Chinese soil. The successes of the CPC and failures of the KMT meant that the support was with Mao, but the civil war continued as normal. The CPC, with help from the Soviets, won, and they exiled the Republic to the island of Taiwan, where they lie to this day. Mao was named Supreme Chairman of the People's Republic of China by 1949. The most well-known thing about this man are the necessary evils and the great leap forward. Firstly, he focused heavily on Chinese industrialization, which caused a great famine, leading to millions of deaths, and the Cultural Revolution, where people following old traditions were either executed or exiled. Wonder where he got that from. During the Cold War, China was with the communists, while Stalin was around, helping in both the Korean War that ended last year and Vietnam. However, once Nikita Khrushchev came to power and denounced Stalinism, relations fell apart. The same came with China too, as after Mao's death, China became a more mixed economy of capitalism and socialism. But the isolation stayed, and many modern social medias, such as YouTube, are prohibited, hence why there is no C-series. China was the first country to hit 1 billion population, China number 1, 20 trillion in GDP, PPP, China number 1, and the longest time spent standing on 4 fingers. China number 1. It's a year of the pig. Happy New Year, everybody, and remember, China number 1.